First, create a paddle, a ball, and a board. This is super easy, do it in Photoshop or whatever. If you want to be super stylish, you should give a 1 pixel buffer on each edge of your paddle and ball, and then use the smooth filtering in the sprite. And then set the opacity to transparent, but leave it at 1, which you would think wouldn't do anything, but it does look different on the smooth filtering. Put all these things into a scene with 2 paddles, because there's going to be 2 of them because it's Pong, and there's not just going to be 1. Position them accordingly and put the camera into view. You want to make sure the camera's orthographic so it looks 2D. And then you also want to make sure the camera can actually see the board and that the paddles are in front of the board. Probably want the paddles and the ball to all be on the same z-axis. You should also make actors for the player and enemy scores and give them a cool text font, like Roboto and other fonts. You want to give the paddle and ball arcade bodies to make sure they can collide. Make sure they're sized correctly, otherwise nothing will work. Okay, now make Pong. Done. I'm tired of looking at these white paddles on this gray background. Let's spice this up a little bit. This step is much easier if you're not colorblind. I mean, I'm not. I'm just bad at picking colors. Anyway, everything that moves should leave a trail behind it. That's how you make a good video game. So to do this, we're going to have to create a particle behavior for a particle that will slowly fade out and vanish and destroy itself, so that way we don't have millions of them at a time, creating lag. We can mess with the decay factor. Okay, maybe we shouldn't mess with the decay factor. Alright, that's good. We need to make it meaningful when the player does something we want. For instance, the ball hitting the paddle. That's a thing that we want to happen, so we want to encourage that by making it look cool. So how do we do that? Particles. Oh, this is great and all, but I'm not really feeling screen shake! When making screen shake, it's important that it lasts a little while, but also is not overly heavy to create motion sickness. Feel that impact? That's a feeling of something being smashed into another thing. That's a real good video game right there. That's a real good shit! The trick with sound effects is you just grab a bunch and don't use all of them. And you also want to make sure that the sound effect is chopped such that the sound starts right at the start of the sound file, because if it has a built-in delay, then nothing's really going to sound quite right. Also, if you want to be super stylish, which I don't, you can take multiple sound effects you found online and consolidate them together into a new sound. This will have the added benefit of having your game feel more personalized, because the sound you're using is not one you found online per se, it was something you built yourself out of things you found online. That being said, I just grabbed the first sounds I could find and I just used them. You hear that? That's the sound of a quality video game. It's the sound of 9.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. Conclusion. There's still a lot we could do here, and these sound effects are kind of awful, but I spent all day working on this game, and I want to go home, so good night.